I rhyme for my life, I rhyme for my pay, I rhyme for my people out here doing it every day. I rhyme for the raw heads, I rhyme to the beat. I rhyme for the ears that been keeping it to the street. I rhyme for my life, I rhyme for my pay, I rhyme for the people out here doing it every day. I rhyme for the raw heads, I rhyme to the beat. I rhyme for the ears that been keeping it to the street. The underground overlord coming to town. Oh my God, raw heads, you know my squad, real shit, no facade.
Hey everybody, I'm Randy Silvis.
And I'm Tony Mollick.
Welcome back to Slotrods, and welcome to our Season 1 finale of Back to the Streets.
Thank you from everyone here at Slotrods for getting us to 600 subscribers.
So please, if you're new here, or if you've already been here for a while and enjoy what we do, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell.
YouTube is making it harder to get the word out, and every subscriber helps us.
And if you'll stick with us, we'll keep making these silly things.
When we were last together, we finished up night 2 of a group of races that we've called Legends of the Streets.
Night 1 was all cars from the 1950s, and Mark Rendos was crowned the king in his 1957 Corvette called Yucca. Night 2 was all cars from the 1960s, and Tony took the crown with the 1960 Corvette called Bones Malone.
And tonight we're bringing you night 3 with cars from the 1970s.
And as with the other 2 nights, the first car to take 5 wins takes the trophy.
Tonight we'll feature some of the finest examples of 1970s Detroit muscle.
All except for the 1972 Datsun Laurel SGX, all the way from Australia. And it'll hold the distinction of being the only right-hand driven car tonight.
And here are your 17 1970s cars racing for your enjoyment tonight.
And just as in night 2, we have an odd amount of cars. And passing out buys is like passing out free wins. And we all know we don't like to do that around here.
So, Ed Armstrong has stepped forward and volunteered his new build, the 1967 Dodge Charger called Barn Find.
And he's going to try his hardest to screw this whole thing up by winning a 1970s race with a 1960s car.
Well, we needed to fill a wild card slot, and Ed was willing.
And sometimes willing is just good enough.
So let's get this thing started and introduce you to some of these cars.
Round 1, race 1. A familiar face, the Porsche 911 called 911, versus the 1971 Dodge called Lil Demon.
Pulling.
Drivers?
Yep. Porsche got out first. And held that Dodge Demon off for the win.
Giving 911 the first win of the evening.
Up next, the Chevelle called Black Widow versus the Volkswagen called the Tiger Beetle.
Did you see the rear end brake loose on the Black Widow?
Yes, I did. And spinning ain't winning. The Tiger Beetle took that one standing up and walking away.
Let's check out that start in slow motion.
That Chevelle kicked so hard to the right, it crossed the center line.
But that didn't matter because Tiger Beetle took that win.
Up next, the 1970 Boss 429 Mustang called Sydney versus the Chevy Monza called Monza. Camera 3. Yep.
Did Sydney do a little dance off the start?
Yep, and it cost him the lead, and it cost him the race.
And that's Monza for the win.
Pulling up to the start, our wild card car, called Barn Find, takes on our only 4-door running tonight, the Dodge Monaco called Elwood.
Rolling. Drivers.
And Ed was sleeping on the line, and Elwood got off to a quick 3-car lead.
And and that's the same lead he won it by.
That's Elwood for the win. Up next, the Pontiac Trans Am called Warbird versus the Chevelle called Smurf. Both those cars are from the Trumpy Racing Team and the 412.
Rolling.
Three's rolling.
Four's rolling.
Smurf grabbed the throttle first, but Pontiac shot by him like he was tied to a stump.
Giving the Warbird the win. Up next, the Black Knight versus the Blue Max. It sounds like they should be jousting.
Yeah, but this is the next best thing.
Rolling.
Camera 3. Rolling. Camera 4 is rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
Blue Max got the jump. But that Black Knight came around him about the halfway mark and stole the win from the GTX.
Giving Black Knight his first win of the evening.
Up next, we have the Buick called Bob versus the 76 Chevy Boogie Van called Groove Van.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3. Going. Camera 4 is rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
They left together, but that GSX was too much for the van. Giving Bob his first win of the night.
Our next story is a tale of the birds and the bees. The 1970s Trans Am called the Bluebird versus the 1971 Dodge Coronet Super Bee called the Purple Bee.
Them two old girls look just as good going as they did coming.
Now that's a drag race. It looks like they were neck and neck at camera 2. But the Purple Bee started coming around on the big end and took the win by a car length.
Which brings us to our last race of the first round. Our only right-hand driven car of the night, all the way from Australia, the Laurel SGX versus a car that could not be more American, the Trans Am called the Bandit.
Rolling. Camera 3 is rolling.
Go ahead.
Drivers?
Yep.
The Laurel SGX was a little sluggish coming off the line, and the Bandit took off like he was being chased by Buford T. Justice himself.
Giving the Bandit the last win of the round. Moving on to round 2, we got a couple of badass Mopars. Elwood versus Purple Bee.
Camera 2 is rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
That Purple Bee took off faster that time than he did the last, and he left Elwood shaking his head wondering what happened.
Giving the Purple Bee the first win of the second round.
Next two cars up are the Warbird versus Groove Van.
We got
Yep.
Chris.
Camera 2 rolling. Camera 3 rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
Warbird immediately digs in and takes off for the lead.
And Groove Van is looking like he could use a new gear ratio.
Tonight won't be the last you'll see of that van. We're trying to get that brick moving down the track, so tonight will be all about data.
Up next, Bob versus Monza.
2 rolling. 3 drivers?
And this time it was Bob that was sleeping.
And the Monza takes full advantage and takes the win.
Next to the line, the Bandit versus Lil Demon.
Camera 1.
Yep.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3.
Drivers?
Yeah.
I think they both tried to leave together, but the Demon looked a little sluggish off the line.
And the Bandit just kept moving further and further away, giving Bandit his second win and allowing him to keep pace with the winners.
Up next, a couple of powerful Chevelles. Smurf versus the Black Widow.
Rolling.
Two's rolling. Three's rolling. Drivers?
Pooh and Black Widow jumps, giving Smurf the win.
Up next, our wild card car, the Barn Find versus Tiger Beetle.
That's a
Rolling.
Two's rolling.
Three's rolling.
Drivers? Yep.
Barn Find gets off the line first to the early lead.
But the Tiger Beetle comes around him to take the win, giving Tiger Beetle his second win.
Next to the line, we got Black Knight versus Laurel SGX.
Rolling.
Camera 2's rolling. Three's rolling. Drivers?
Black Knight loses power coming off the line and hesitates.
And the Laurel SGX capitalizes on that and takes the win. And that gives the Aussies one.
Next up, some good old-fashioned Detroit muscle. Sydney versus Bluebird.
Rolling.
Camera 2 rolling. Camera 3 rolling. Drivers? Yep. Ready?
This time Sydney was slow off the line. And Bluebird makes him pay with a 3-card gap.
Putting Bluebird on the board. Up next, 911 versus Blue Max.
Rolling.
Camera 2 rolling. Camera 3 rolling. Drivers? Yep.
And there's another beautiful drag race. They left together, but 911 started to separate at about the halfway point and just held the SGX off for the win.
Bringing us to round 3. Race 1, Bandit versus Bluebird. The Battle of the Firebirds.
Rolling.
Camera 2 rolling. Camera 3 rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
Another perfect start and another dead heat race. They were neck and neck coming to the finish line, but Bandit manages to squeeze ahead for the win.
Keeping the Bandit perfect with 3 wins.
Up next, Monza versus Warbird.
Camera 3.
Drivers?
Yeah.
Monza took off like a man on a mission. If that was a clean start, he had to have guessed on the light.
And that keeps Monza perfect with his 3rd win of the night.
Next up, a couple of 412 cars. Bob versus 911.
Yep.
Camera 2's rolling. Camera 3 is rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
And this time it's 911 that takes off like a bullet, leaving Bob scratching his head wondering what happened.
Giving 911 its 3rd win of the night. Next up, Elwood versus Sydney.
Yep.
Yep.
Rolling. Camera 3 is running. Drivers?
Yep.
Those two just caught a perfect light.
Looks like Sydney was the first to get out in front, and he turns that into his first win of the evening.
Next up, some more Mopar on Mopar Crime. Lil Demon versus Blue Max.
Camera 1.
Yep.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3.
Rolling. Drivers.
Yep.
And yet another perfect start. The Little Demon was pulling ahead at camera 2 and manages to hold off Blue Max for the win.
Cracking the seal for Lil Demon and getting him on the board.
Up next, it's Tiger Beetle versus the Barn Find.
Yep.
Camera 1. Camera 2's rolling. Camera 3. Drivers.
Yep.
It looks like Barn Find finally found his gas pedal.
But here comes that Tiger Beetle, creeping up on the big end and taking the win from Barn Find.
Keeping Tiger Beetle with the leaders with 3 wins.
Next up, our Aussie entry, the Laurel SGX versus Rob Trumpy's Chevelle called Smurf.
2's rolling. Drivers.
And this time Laurel SGX is not sluggish off the line, and she drags that Chevelle's ass for the whole 8th mile.
Giving the SGX his second win of the night.
Next up, bring out the heavy stuff. Groove Van versus the Black Knight.
Rolling. 2.
Rolling.
3. Rolling. Drivers.
Yep.
Van got the jump, but he immediately loses ground to the truck.
And the Black Knight gets his second win of the evening.
Next up to the line, it's the battle of the badass insects. The poisonous Black Widow versus the killer sting of the Purple Bee.
Rolling. Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3.
Rolling. Drivers.
Yep.
And that race was all Purple Bee. That Mopar was still accelerating at the finish line.
Keeping the Purple Bee perfect with 3 wins.
And that brings us to round 4. Starting off round 4, we have Tiger Beetle versus Smurf.
Rolling. 2's rolling. Drivers.
Another great start, but Smurf just didn't have enough in him to tangle with that Beetle.
And that makes Tiger Beetle the first racer to 4 wins.
Next to the line, we have Bandit versus the Black Knight.
Rolling. Camera 2. Camera 3. Rolling. We're gonna drive.
Yep.
This time the Bandit's back tires break loose. And that allows the Black Knight to get ahead of him, and the Bandit just couldn't close the distance.
And that gives the Black Knight his 3rd win of the night.
Which brings us to the Bluebird versus Bob.
It's the battle of the alternative flavors, Pontiac versus Buick.
Rolling.
Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3. Drivers.
And the Bluebird gets out first, and Bob just could not run him down.
And the Bluebird snags his 2nd win of the evening.
Up next, our winless wild card, Barn Find, versus that big bad Warbird.
Camera
Rolling.
2. Camera 3. Drivers?
Yep.
And Barn Find forgets to go. And Barn Find loses that race at the starting line.
And Warbird gets number 3. Next in line, we got 911 versus Sydney.
Yep.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3. Rolling.
Drivers?
Yes.
They both managed to chop down the tree, but Sydney could not overcome 911's acceleration.
And 911 continues to challenge the leaders with a 4th win. Rolling up to the starting line, we got Spiders and Demons, oh my.
Black Widow versus Lil Demon.
Another great start and another great drag race. They were neck and neck at camera 2.
And coming down the promenade hand in hand. But the last 600 feet, Black Widow comes around for the win. Just by a nose, allowing that Black Widow to finally get on the board.
And keeping Lil Demon locked in the basement with a single win.
Well, misery does love company.
Up next, the Chevy Monza called Monza versus the Chevy half-ton van called Groove Van.
Rolling. Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3.
Man, something's holding that van back. I got to do some serious testing and tuning on that thing.
I have a suggestion.
Well, I can't wait to hear this.
Maybe drain a couple 100 pounds of water out of that waterbed in the back?
Maybe you're right. That gives Monza 4 wins, and the Groove Van is already anxious to get back to the garage and figure out his problems.
Up next, the undefeated Purple Bee versus our right-hand drive entry all the way from Australia, the Laurel SGX.
Rolling. Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3.
Drivers?
Yeah.
They left together, but that SGX could not cover that Super Bee.
And the Purple Bee makes our 5th undefeated car in the 4th round.
Up next, the Dodge Monaco called Elwood versus the 71 Plymouth GTX called Blue Max.
Rolling.
2's rolling. 3. 3's rolling. Drivers?
Yeah.
Looks like Elwood was a little late off the line.
And he could not reel that GTX back in.
And the Blue Max gets his first win since his debut 5 years ago.
Welcome back, Blue Max. And that brings us to our final round.
First up, our wild card, the Barn Find, versus that little blue-eyed SGX.
I know how to muffle it. Rolling. 3's rolling. Drivers?
Yep.
Now that's one hell of a start.
But the SGX grabs asphalt and shoots past that Dodge and takes the win.
Giving the SGX a respectable 3 wins.
Next to the line, 911 versus Groove Van. Unless 911 has a catastrophic failure, this looks like an easily won race for 911.
Rolling. Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3. Rolling. Drivers?
Groove Van was determined. He got off the line first and was even in the lead for a hot second.
But 911 comes around that van and gaps him at the finish.
making 911 the first of 5 wins.
He might be the first of 5 wins, but there's 3 other cars that would have to lose this round in order for 911 to have an uncontested win at the end of the round.
And something tells me that ain't happening.
Up next, a colorful little race. The Tiger Beetle from the 412 versus the Blue Max from the 724.
Rolling. Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3. Rolling.
Drivers.
Yep.
Tiger Beetle knocked the tires off at the starting line, and the Blue Max takes off with a full hit of steam, giving the Blue Max 2 wins for the night.
Our next 2 racers are both from the 412. The Black Knight versus the Smurf.
Rolling. Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3. Rolling. Drivers.
And the Smurf gets out first, but Black Knight immediately comes around him and maintains the lead till the finish line,
Giving the Black Knight a frustrating 4 wins for the evening.
Yep, it was just a little too late.
I think there's a song in there somewhere.
Up next from the 412, the Buick GSX called Bob versus that undefeated 724 Mopar called Purple Bee.
If anybody has a chance to beat that Dodge, it's going to be Bob.
Camera 2.
Rolling.
Camera 3.
Rolling. 2. Drivers.
Oh, hell no!
Either Bob's struggling to get off the line, or that Purple Bee's just fast.
And the Purple Bee gets his 5th win and guarantees us a tiebreaker.
Next to the starting line, 2 724 cars. The 71 Dodge called Little Demon versus the 1974 Boss 429 Mustang called Sydney.
Rolling.
2's rolling. 3 rolling. Drivers.
Yep.
Perhaps our fastest start of the evening. But the Ford surges ahead at camera 2 and maintains the lead for the win. Round and third and headed for home. Monza versus the Bandit.
1.
Rolling.
2's rolling.
Drivers. Yep.
Wow, so much for the fastest start of the evening, because that one was faster by a mile.
You can't hear it on the video, but the Monza spun a gear the whole way down the track.
Allowing the Bandit to steal Monza's potential 5th win and taking him out of the competition.
And giving the Bandit a respectable 4 wins for the evening.
Next to the line, 412 teammates Elwood versus the Warbird.
Camera 1.
Yep.
2's rolling.
3 rolling.
Drivers.
Yep.
Another vicious start, but the Warbird gets out first for the early lead, and Elwood all but catches him at the finish line.
That's one of them races where another 50 feet would have been a different outcome.
But it wasn't, and he didn't, and Warbird ends his night with 4 wins.
Our last race of the competition will be the Bluebird versus the Black Widow. Oh geez, now it's birds and spiders.
Camera 2's rolling.
3 rolling. Drivers.
Well, that went just about how I thought it would.
Why's that?
Everybody knows birds eat spiders.
And that gives the Bluebird 3 wins for the evening.
And that means at the end of our 5th round, we have 2 cars with 5 wins.
Our veteran racer from the 412 is a former number 1 car, the 911 Porsche called 911. Versus the newcomer and upstart from the 724. The 71 Dodge Coronet Super B, that plum crazy purple B. Let's see who's going to take that trophy.
Rolling.
Camera 2. Rolling. Camera 3. Yep.
And they do not disappoint.
They left together, but it looked like the Dodge was pulling ahead of about camera 2. And he was. And he pulls ahead to gap the Porsche to finish. And that makes the Purple Bee our winner of Night 3 of our Legends of the Street series. Cars from the 1970s. Here's our champion Tony Malik with his trophy. Good job, buddy. That makes 2 in a row for you. You won both the 1960s and the 70s trophies. And if you hadn't jumped out of the slot in round 5 of the 50s race, you would have had Recon Racing Mark in a tiebreaker for the trophy.
Shut up, man. I'm trying to stay under the radar.
Well, it's a little too late for that, because now you officially have a target on your back. You better stay low out in them streets.
Well, ain't that the problem with the streets? There ain't nowhere to hide.
Well, my man, they're going to have to wait till next season to get at you, because this concludes our first ever season of Slotrods Presents Back to the Streets.
Man, what a ride. This has been a hell of a lot of fun.
Until we see each other again next season on Back to the Streets, I'm Randy Silvas,
And I'm Tony Malik.
and you've been watching a production of
Slotrods.
The answer is no, you ain't got a chance. She's out of your league, just let the girl dance. No sweeping allowed, yo, you just get a glance. Don't try to swing game, yo, just let the girl dance. The answer is no, you ain't got a chance. She's out of your league, just let the girl dance. You can watch a show flow from a distance, but give her some space, son, let the girl dance.
Now that's a drag race.